First.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She live about yes, she has a session at 4 a.m. So she has a session at 4 a.m. So she came in to the lady that was yeah. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Around the same thing. Yeah, it's around the same, but the second to the match. No, they made it a match, but yeah, they made it a match, but it's not the match. Yeah, we made the match and then boxing and just almost because they go with the match from the beginning. With the match. But this club, I want to show you something. It means the so look basically like I say I didn't like you just say as you catch the listing, say make the assistant the listing. No, it was before. There's someone doing that. No. I saw the day on now. The day
My man.
Hi, Tom Chris.
My man.
How are you?
I'm all right. Yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
You look great, man.
Thank you. Good to
You're
know you're
welcome.
doing well too.
Yeah. I'm well by God's grace.
Oh, that's awesome. This is quite wonderful what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well,
Listen, are we ready? Now remove that thing. Remove the thing. Okay, shall we?
sure.
All right. Please introduce yourself to our online guests.
Okay. My name is Ike Wiebe. I am Nigerian, resident in Canada. I am the executive director of Transition House. Um, Transition House is an organization that supports individuals and families that are experiencing homelessness or at risk of becoming homeless. I am also the founder of Solutions for Livelihoods, a nonprofit that um, helps to draw the attention of uh, Nigerians in the diaspora to the challenges of the young people, the children in Nigeria, especially in the area of education and health. And I also run a business that is into uh, recruitment and people development. It's called iAccess Solutions. So pretty much that's me.
Wonderful. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Cheers.
All right. So I might have to start from the beginning. I like starting from the beginning for some of you that I've known for a while. Huh? How long has it been since you live in Canada now?
This is the eighth year now. Gonna be 8 years
8
anyway
years.
in January. Yeah,
Time runs fast, eh?
yeah, pretty much.
Very impressive. Okay, so uh I remember from it was from Yali. The last time
Yes.
we met, it was in Yali, eh?
Yeah, 2015. That's correct.
2015, yes.
Yeah.
Very nice. So how was it? You landed in Canada after that our meeting,
Um, yeah, like I think about two. I left Nigeria about probably about 2 3 years after that experience, and
right?
yeah,
How was it? How was your first impression?
of Canada. I think the first country I ever went to, like the first time I'm gonna be talking about that as well. Um, the first time I left Nigeria was for an international volunteering experience, and that was the United Kingdom. So
Yeah,
that kind of uh, left a stamp in my on my mind how the West is supposed to look. So upon arrival in Canada, first I didn't see what I saw back then. It wasn't quite a reflection of what uh, what's obtainable in the UK. So I was like, is this it? So you know, so but over time, I was judging based on what you can see. I never knew that there is more
other
to
places.
yeah there is more to it, and over time I started to appreciate what the country has to offer. It's
Right.
I've been back in the UK at least twice since I've been in Canada, and then I I don't think I want to live there, so I
Oh
just stayed
yeah.
here. Yeah.
Why is that?
Different things. When in Canada, you come across all different people from different parts of the world, and everyone is Canadian. And then there's not so much. Well, I can say that there's no racism or anything like that, but as compared to the UK, there, in my opinion, I feel there's that gap there. So yeah, like you don't find it's not so multicultural as compared to Canada. So you have, especially in the major cities, you have people from all over the world, like, and then in large numbers. So unlike what you come across, there in the UK, of course, in the UK, it's beginning to also change and all that, but with their own immigration policies, that is getting also tighter by the day. So efforts are being made to maybe to keep it the way it is or something, or to return it to the way it used to be. Of which another thing that one of the reasons that it's pretty easy for you as an immigrant to become whatever you want to be in Canada. It's much easier as compared to that of the UK. In terms of institutional racism, in terms of career prospects and things like that. You go into organizations, you find people who like you have quite a lot of people who are in the who are MPs in Canada, who are MPPs that are immigrants. And then you check how long ago have you been in the country? They've only been here probably 5 years, 10 years, or something like that. So that's possible. I'm not sure if that's something that you can easily, realize in a place like the UK. So I'm pretty sure they have their own, their own the benefits as well. But I've just, in my opinion, I just prefer it here.
Makes sense. Have you been in touch with any of the guys we did the Yali thing with?
Actually, I watched Abidemi's interview. Abidemi Abdul Fattah, yes. So I never knew he was in the UK. I mean, in Canada. So right on the spot, I reached out to him on LinkedIn. So we've been talking.
What did you make of his interview?
I think it's quite, wonderful. I can't stop but think about where we all met, where we, from the time we all met, and then where we all at the moment. So it's that's something that's, to think of the fact that people are leaders in their various fields and all that, and then they become reference points and they have a voice in their various in their chosen fields. That's something that is quite impressive, something that we should encourage as many young people as possible to be able to learn from.
That's a good point.
Thank you.
I didn't know he was also in Canada. I guess he saw the publication on YouTube or maybe Facebook. I think Facebook should be more ideal, and he registered. So yeah, that day he said he was traveling, and he had only 20 minutes to spend with us. And yeah, it was an interesting session because I wasn't so sure how the conversation will go because I hadn't spoken to him before then.
Wow.
And he looks also different, like a bit older. Did you notice?
It's expected anyway. So.
Life is funny, eh? Just a few years and everybody looks different.
Yeah, that's something that I keep reminding myself about. Like I still, for instance, I went visiting at my sisters in the UK, and then my nephews that were babies just a few what ago. Now they're talking about being, what university they're going to go to, what courses they're going to be taking, and I'm like, well, time waits for no one. Man has to
Yeah.
run. Man. So
Mm.
yeah, that's the thing.
Mm. Leveraging volunteering and internships to enhance career prospects. That's your topic, eh?
That's correct.
Great. You like volunteering, eh?
Yes, it's something I've been doing let me say formally, something I've been doing since 2002.
Right.
And that was the year I actually completed high school. And at that time, it was very common in the final year in school for um, classmates to be discussing, oh, what are you going to do after school? And then what you hear most people say is that I'm going to go work in that company, or I'm going to go do this business or something. So mostly it's centered around, raising money. For some people, they just want to make money to take care of themselves, uh, wear nice clothes and buy nice shoes and things like that. For some other people, they want to make, raise some money to be able to support their parents or support themselves when they go into higher institution, things like that. But at that time, I felt there was something more. I was interested in something more than that. And prior to that time, we used to have this thing they call peer educators. Like there was this community organization that would come to our school then, and then to talk to us about adolescent, reproductive health, about HIV and AIDS, goal setting, self-esteem, all those things. So I kind of, found it interesting. Like I felt I would like to do what these guys do. Like you're actually helping to support young people so that they can make good choices and things like that. So that was where that interest, where I developed that interest in doing that. So one of the days I was on my way home, and then I met one of the workers in that organization, and then right away I just told her about it, like I would be interested in what you do. Then she says, you know what? When you're done your final exams, here's my card. Come to the office, and then we would set you up. And that was how, right after, I think it was less than a month after I finished high school, I was there. I started volunteering. And then, I did that. And exactly 1 year after that, I was on my way to the UK on the voluntary service overseas World Youth Exchange Program. So again, I don't think that would have been possible if not for the fact that I made myself available for, a volunteer experience.
And that wasn't the end, was it?
Oh, no. Like since then, at the point I made up my mind that I would visit a new country that's a country I've never been for some kind of volunteer work every year. So I kept to this. And then at that time, I was just fortunate that I would always find something that is maybe all expense paid, or maybe you cover a bit of the cost, and then the organizer or some funder will help to cover the rest, or something like that. And then it went on and on and on like that. For instance, I was in Philippines for a rehousing project. We rehoused scavenger settlers on dump sites. We were 17 of us from 14 different countries. So through that experience, I was able to connect with all these, youth leaders from all these countries. So there are some countries I would go to now that I know I won't be considered, someone who has no link at all, you don't have any connection. But all this that has been made possible because of the fact that I took interest in that sort of experience. So in that program, we lived in the Philippines for 6 months, and we helped to train the local that's this participants in our project. They developed skills so that they can become employable in the local industries, and then they were able to own their own homes. Like there was this plan that was set up for them, so that they pay something little in proportion to proportion to how much they earn, and then at the end of 25 years, that home becomes theirs if they're still interested in staying in that community, and all that, of which proceeds from that goes into building more homes so that more community members can benefit from it. So this is something that some people would learn from, from school and all that. Like, but fortunately, I got to learn most of these things in the field. And then when I find myself in maybe a course or something where certain international development concepts have been discussed, it doesn't come to me as as something new. I'm able to now connect it, the theory and then the practical aspect of it.
Yeah. That's impressive, man.
So
you land in Canada, a bit of a shock. Where did you go?
I've been in Toronto,
Okay.
in Ontario, and so I've been here all through that time.
Did you already have an accommodation before you arrived the country?
I had yes, a form of arrangement.
Right.
It's always good to have that connection to somebody who is maybe someone you knew from before or a local, so that you don't become. It can be pretty challenging if you don't have any kind of connection, and then you just come in, and you might struggle. But I am so grateful for some of the connections I've made prior to that time. I was able to, it was just a soft landing, and then I was able to just start living that dream from that point.
For how long?
How long before what?
How long did you stay with the person?
Oh, it's not so much of staying with the person. It's more of staying at the person's, because he had some kind of arrangement. Like this is like a second home for him.
Right.
So he had his own family and all that. Then he just had the second arrangement, and then I just stayed there for roughly about 2 months or so before I was able to move into my own unit. And
Did you already have a job before you got there?
No. Yeah. Again, volunteering opened a number of doors actually on arrival. The moment I came in, I started exploring, educational as well as volunteering possibilities and all that. So that was how I was able to move. I got a scholarship for a 1-year program at some point, and then it was due to the fact that I was volunteering in what they call business improvement area. So like in Toronto, they have clusters of businesses and all that. So in one of them, they're more like their secretariat. I was volunteering at that location, and then helping to supporting the local businesses in that area And then this opportunity came up at Ryerson University. And one of the conditions to qualify for the scholarship was that you must have been involved in a BIA, which is what I was doing at the time. And then I met with the board chair, and then they signed it, and that was it. So apart from that, that volunteer experience also more like opened the door to one of the job I had. I later got at that point. I worked as a resource development assistant at some kind of a language services organization. So we picked it up from there. The good thing about one thing about Canada is it's very important for you to know what you want from the get-go, so that you can start building on that. They take seriously experience,
Right.
That's actually what's going to help you through, especially in key areas like social work and so on and so forth.
Okay.
There would be, it's either certain things, it's either you know it or you don't know it, and then there's no point, beating around the bush. So when opportunities come, if you've not made yourself, prepared yourself, to develop the required skills in that field, not just in the field, but at the level that you're looking at, because you want to grow, right? You want to, maybe move from frontline, maybe to supervisory role, to managerial, and so on and so forth. So if you don't have the key competencies, that you just struggle. So you have some people come in, and then they just say, oh, you know what, I just need anything. I just want to do anything, like whatever job I can get. Well, I can understand, yes, sometimes you just have to do what you have to do to survive. But again, remember that you're already developing experience in one area. The question to then ask is that what you see yourself doing the next 2 years, the next 5 years? If the answer is a yes, well and good. If the answer is a no, you need to now start asking yourself, what do I see myself doing in the next 5 years or so? And then you start developing, yourself towards preparing yourself towards that. So it's just like somebody transitioning from maybe accounts into sciences. That's the two worlds apart. So you still need the fact that you were a senior manager in the area of accounting doesn't mean that you would be effective in, when it comes to, let's say, social work, because there are key competencies that are required in that area. And you will see that even an entry-level person would do way better than you because they understand certain key concepts, and then they've developed that either through education or through work experience. That's why it's very key which is one of the things we can achieve through volunteering anyway. You might be, maybe in one field, you have to take care of yourself, you have to take care of your family, you have to pay bills and things like that. So as a result, you have to keep that job. But you know that that's not, you are interested in some other area. That's when you can now start to avail yourself of maybe volunteering opportunities. It could be something that you do in the weekends, or in the evenings, or something like that. And then, so that at the end of the day, you can tell yourself, you have an idea of what is required in that area when you decide to start exploring it. And you're not a novice anymore. You're asked, do you have experience? How many years experience do you have, or something? You have something to show. So, yeah.
Impressive. That was really very smart of you, because as you said, there are so many people that would spend several years before they get integrated into the system when they move into a new environment. Yeah, a lot more young people need to listen to this, your volunteering strategy.
It's
But do you think,
sorry, go ahead.
now I was going to say, do you think it's like that in other places? Although you've already said UK is quite different.
Well, in terms of volunteering, I think the concept is the same. The principles are the same, regardless
Yeah,
of where you find yourself. You know,
right.
in terms of what I was talking about in relation to UK then is more like a general, you know, either you want to volunteer or not. Like if you were to choose, if I never, given what I know now, if I am, if I ever am presented with the options, UK or Canada, I would
Mm,
choose, Canada over and over again. And then, and that's nothing to do with, say, volunteering possibilities or whatever. For instance, even in Nigeria, I worked on a World Bank supported project in Nigeria. And what qualified me for that, while other people were coming with qualifications in the area of the international development work or something, I didn't have I didn't have qualifications. What you know what opened the door at that time was actually the experience I've gathered over the years and all that. I was the at the point I became the focal point for volunteer involving organizations across Nigeria. It's the network used to be called Give Nigeria. So a
right.
civil society network of volunteer involving organizations in Nigeria. So we help to build capacity of these organizations as well as the, individuals who are just passionate about volunteering, both local and international. So we formed that network, and then again, it's because of the fact that I've made myself, available. I've always shown interest in volunteering, wanting to support whenever there is a need for it, and not knowing that this is going to pay off eventually, and all that. So that's in Nigeria. You know, I supported I worked on a program that was supported by Shell in Delta State, and apart from that, I've worked on different development intervention projects across Nigeria, and then so the principles are the same. It's
Right.
just that when you now come to a place like this, a place like Canada, you want to see how do you use this to your advantage. For instance, I say apart from my full-time, job, I run a business. I run together with my partner. We run a non-profit, and then we, on top of that, I'm a member of the board of a non-profit, here in Toronto. So things like that, open doors for you because it just shows the, when it comes to volunteering, when it comes to being on a board that you're volunteering, things like that shows you, especially when you even go for job interviews, what you're doing there when you talk about your volunteer experience. When sometimes they ask you questions like that, like, basically they want to establish the human side of you. Are you a selfless person? Are you, are you the kind of person that would go the extra mile to support somebody who is in need or something like the fact that you volunteer, you don't think about it, you want to do things not for your own good, but for the good of another person. It just shows you as, yes, there's more to this person than, just wanting to make money or something. So it's a principle it's something everyone must adopt wherever they are.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
And so but your journey continues, of course. After your volunteering, how did you get to become the ED then?
After the volunteering, something was announced. I received this email. I can't remember when I signed up for it. And then they said different organizations where there will be a job fair. And
Right.
then they listed the organizations that would be participating in it. The Salvation Army, Homes First Society, Fred Victor, and so on and so forth. A number of key leading nonprofits here in Toronto. So I thought it doesn't, I wouldn't lose anything to if I attended that. So I signed up for it, and then fortunately I was invited. To my surprise, I got interview spots. On that day, three organizations interviewed me on the spot, and I got a job with two of them on the spot.
Wow.
So, of which the jobs they offered at the time, I had no clue what what I was going to be doing because it's these organizations work in the homelessness and housing, sector. So homelessness is a big thing in Canada. Like, I don't know why that is. It's like you cannot talk about three problems that communities face without them touching on homelessness. At least it's most likely going to be one of like in the top three. So as a result, organizations, we have a lot of settlement organizations, a lot of nonprofits responding in that area. So I got the job. One of them said they were offering me the role of a relief worker, and the other one as a case management worker. On my first day on the job, the one of the case management, apparently I was supposed to support 90 people to finding how, like an apartment. So case management, basically you're helping you develop their like establish a case for them, identify the milestones and everything, and then walk through that with the individual. So I didn't receive any training. I found a training opportunity because I have never done it before. I found a training opportunity and then reached out to the organization, like, I want you to pay for this. And they accepted to do it, and that was it. So in a very short time, I got quite a lot of people housed and all that. So something that I took on as a survival job eventually became like something I wanted to pursue further. So from doing frontline relief, I went into case management. From case management, I went into administration within the sector still. And then, from there, I went to management. And that was how, from supervisor to manager, from manager to senior manager. And then from working as senior manager for about 2 years, an opportunity came in the organization where I am now for the executive director position. And the moment I saw the announcement, I kind of knew. I just saw myself in that's doing that already, and that was it. So
impressive.
Yep.
That's really good. When did you marry? Right. You were already married in Nigeria by the time we met, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I was. And
yeah.
There's a story to that one, but that's not for the show.
Okay. I'm very interested in people's stories because, yeah, I think in some way, every little thing could open a whole new learning curve. Huh?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's
Perhaps some young guy will be listening to you now and you would have saved his life or her life. Who knows?
right. Um, this is related to
Volunteering.
volunteering. Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
yeah. Like I take, like I said to my like what I try to encourage, especially young people who are like in secondary school. Our
Mm-hmm.
parents, our parents back then would always want us to be good in the area of academics. So, for instance, during school term, you spend most of your time, you go to school, maybe 8 to 4 or something, then you return. They sometimes they don't even want you playing. They want you, like go, do some more studying and all that. And then during the holidays, they still want you to enroll in some kind of summer classes and all that. So my view is that we have to help our young people develop them in some other areas. Like organizations these days don't want somebody who only knows about one thing. They want someone who has an idea about different things. So that way, when you're presented with a challenge, even if it's outside of your area of expertise, you have an idea of, okay, how do I navigate this space? How do I navigate the available resources to be able to find the solution to this? So that's why, you know, enrolling the summer time, summer holidays should be used not only for academics, but also to for young people to be able to develop skills in different other areas that make them employable. You know, like there's nothing wrong in you finishing high school and then you can boast of, I can do this. You have
Yeah.
skills in communication, you have skills in marketing, you have, some advanced IT skills, and so on and so forth. So, that's for me, you can achieve all that through internship, you can achieve all that through volunteering. If you're in an organization, you find yourself in an organization that you give maybe 5 hours of your time on a weekly basis to, or something, or 10 hours of your time, and then they give you tasks, they give you responsibilities and all that. You're already building yourself up. And then by the time you find yourself working, maybe you're done with school, you now get an employment, or you set up your own business, you already develop that level of discipline that is required for you to function, in maybe on the job or your own business, as compared to somebody who has just followed the traditional, you know, process, like go through primary school, secondary school, then higher institution, and all that. They will still have to come back and learn certain things that are not being taught, that are not taught in the school system.
Yeah.
But fortunately, you may have acquired all that because you made yourself available for other opportunities in volunteering or internship.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Well, we have 4 minutes left. So would you want to say something to young people who would be inspired by your volunteering story and wouldn't mind to reach out to you if not for distance or
By by all means, anyone who, I'm always happy. I've had so many Nigerians reach out to me here, and I'm always inspired by such, you know, um, requests. They reach out to me and say, "Can you be my mentor? Can you?" They have questions like, "How did you do this? How did you do that?" Or, "This is what I'm trying to do. What do you think?" Things like that. So, by all means, if anyone is interested in, connecting, um, I will be happy to share what I know. And then, if I don't have an answer to a question, I'm always, I always tell the individual I don't know, but I will find out and get back to you. So, and then sometimes you can pull ideas, and then together we come up with solutions to, whatever challenge it is. So, for anyone who is looking to develop themselves, who's looking to especially explore, looking at developing a career, following a career in development work, it is important to make yourself like go out there. Like we shared earlier about how we connected on Yali and all that. I took part in so many, programs like that. You know, you see that I would not be part of it. Only I won't be part of any program only if I wasn't selected for it. But in terms of making myself available, I would definitely do that. And then that helps to connect, it connects you with people from other parts of the world or other communities. You're able to learn about their culture. You're able to learn about, like get their own perspective on, on different issues. And then, that helps you on your way to becoming a global citizen. And then, when you're presented with any form of challenge, it will be, other people will be so impressed with your view about it, because even without living in a certain country, you already know a lot about them. You already know how, like you're beginning to understand about diversity and things like that. So all these things are what, our our young people should, especially now that we are, the concept of globalization is even more, it's bigger now than it was a few years ago. So anyone who is not thinking global, who is not, like whatever it is you're pursuing, be it business or whatever, you have to have that perspective of, okay, how does this, if somebody that is not from my community comes in contact with this, would it make a meaning to them? Like you're beginning to have that, you can interpret things from their own perspective, and that would influence the design of your product, design of your services, and then your approach to things. So it is important. Take advantage of that volunteer opportunity. Go for internship whenever you have the time, and then if you have the time, also make yourself available to volunteer on the board of a nonprofit. This also helps you develop skills, in financial management, PR, and so on and so forth, decision making, governance, and all that. So these are all things we should start developing ourselves in, regardless of where you find yourself currently. It's never too late. It's never too early either. So that's.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. We will be connecting to celebrate this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Cheers.
All right then. Bye-bye.
Lisa.
Hello. Hello, Tom Chris.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. It's Halloween here in Vegas, and I'm here to help you reach, I'm here to help you reach hour 90 for our interview.
Yes.
You're doing amazing.
You so much.
Look great for being up 90 hours almost.
Well, I'm receiving lots of good vibes from people like you, so I have to look good.
For a great cause.
Absolutely, yeah. Would you like to introduce yourself to our global audience?
Yes. Hello, my name is Elisa Estrella. I'm coming live from Las Vegas, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. I am on my third venture, which is called Vivid Edge, and I'm a brand strategist. So I help service providers carve a unique, uncopyable niche so that they stand out from the competition. And this is actually my
Wonderful.
10-year anniversary as an entrepreneur. When I left everything in Silicon Valley, I used to work in startups. And 10 years, I moved to the Philippines to start a microfinance business. And this just fills me up so much because our inspiration was M-Pesa, which is huge in the African economy.
Oh,
So
really?
yes, yes, we studied the model, like case studies about how to bring microfinance to unbanked communities in the Philippines, and looked at how is it that they're able to credit score? How is it that they're able to validate financial know-how and take repayment? So M-Pesa was a big inspiration for that business. And it's just amazing that what happened in Africa, I was able to apply it to the Philippines. And here I am coming back full circle and hopefully able to contribute something to the African community.
Oh my God. Wow. This is a moment.
Yeah, exactly 10 years ago when I packed up my bags and moved everything away from San Francisco to the Philippines. Yep. And who knew
Hmm.
that this African microfinance startup would inspire a lot of that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Oh gosh, about what? There's so many
What did
ways I
you
can go.
what did you learn? How did you implement your strategy? What's the
Oh,
business like now? I want to hear everything.
oh, well, it was 4 years and we did sunset it because long story short, um, maybe you can relate to this or the people, it's a similar problem. Like there are just so many parallels, so many parallels in the challenges I see in the Philippine community and the African communities, especially when I was
Right.
listening to a lot of the speakers. Brain drain, skills gap, remnants of colonialism. So
Hmm.
the microfinance business we did in the Philippines, we used social indicators. So Facebook is huge in the Philippines. Facebook is actually giving free internet to people who use the Facebook app. So a lot of the news, a lot of the browsing happens in the Facebook app. That was our key indicator of how to score someone for trustworthiness or financial know-how. And what we found was that there was huge demand for microfinancing, especially for unbanked. I mean, it's a huge portion of the population that doesn't have a traditional bank. Um,
Hmm.
so the issue that we found, well, our main purpose, first of all, for starting this microfinance business was to keep people from going to loan sharks because that was just keeping people in this endless cycle of debt.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were, gosh, they were charging about 50% on loans, 500%
Wow.
sometimes. Yes, it's huge. So people weren't really able to pay for it. Now, the issue we found was that we did not prevent people from going to loan sharks. We just delayed it. There were
Hmm.
bigger problems at hand. While yes, people needed microfinance, a lot of the people, a lot of the unbanked communities that we were targeting, they lived paycheck to paycheck. So imagine there is a huge typhoon, the roads are flooded, and you can't get to work at the call center. That's your paycheck right there.
Hmm.
And so you don't have money to pay back your loan because you missed a day or two from not being able to make it to work. So what we found is that we were treating a symptom, not the problem. And I think the bigger problem was how do we create more sustainable jobs for people in the Philippines where they don't have to commute from the provinces like 2, 3 hours outside into the city because of
Right.
bad infrastructure and things of that sort. We just needed more jobs and jobs more spread out across the country, more accessible to people across the country, as opposed to places that were just already so overpopulated and dense. And because of that, I didn't feel aligned to the business anymore. I mean, it was profitable, but it was a social enterprise. And I know you're big on social enterprises. That's the whole thing
Yes.
behind it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it wasn't just about the profit. We weren't having any purpose, because I didn't want to just make money off of people's paying interest. I wanted to make sure that we were giving people financial opportunities to uplift themselves out of poverty. So microfinance wasn't the key, wasn't the solution for the Philippines. It was creating more accessible jobs.
Mm.
And so
That's
we
interesting.
submitted that. Mm-hmm. Or that's
So,
my theory. Some people might fight me on it, but that's
so
my
what's
theory.
new now?
So what's new now? So I am now a brand strategist. So I basically help service providers, small businesses that have service, like they are either a lawyer, therapist, a coach. They are providing some service interacting from person to person. And especially with all of the internets, the globalization, all the content happening on YouTube, a lot of the service providers I find are having trouble standing out from competition, or they're getting lost. They're getting lost in the noise. That's what's going on. And they're having trouble. They're resorting to typical marketing tactics, right? Just posting a bunch on social media and not getting anywhere, or running ads and they're not being effective. So I found that there is a root cause to that. Again, I'm all about looking at the root of the problem, not treating symptoms. So I help service providers now create a brand that really speaks to a very targeted niche of people. Because right now, when you talk to everyone, you're talking to no one, right? You're like, hey,
Yeah.
everyone. And it's like, well, who's everyone? Is she talking to me? Does this apply to me? So it's really about getting very clear on who they're serving, and also for what greater cause. And I think that, to me, that is my approach in creating relatable brands that help service providers stand out from competition.
Impressive.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Okay. So, if I were, as I am, a social entrepreneur, and I care deeply about workforce readiness, how should I communicate my essence to ensure I am getting the right attention and attracting the right kind of people that want to collaborate with me?
Great question. I know there was another amazing woman who had spoken earlier in your interview about personal branding. And while I completely agree, that is the essential first step in knowing who you are as a person, because honestly, at the end of the day, social entrepreneurs, service businesses, your business is an extension of you. They're not two different things. What you care about, what you value, that should radiate through your brand. So definitely starting at the core, who you are, definitely. However, a lot of people stop there. And I think that's such a shame. That's a wasted opportunity. The
Wow.
second step, well, first, I'm a brand strategist, so I have a nerdy framework about this. So step
Right.
two.
Okay.
Step two, you have to embrace competition. Healthy competition, because how do you know who you are? How do you know who you serve if you don't know who you don't serve or who you are not? Like, if I were to say, hey, Tom Chris, do you like this Filipino dish? Like, well, I don't know. I haven't tried it. So you have to try it. You have to experience it before you can say, yes, I like this, or no, I don't like this. And that is the contrast that competition provides. It helps us get so much crystal clear. So for instance, one of my clients is an estate planner, trust, making sure that people's homes and assets continue on to their children, or have maintain a legacy. And he was just taking any client that would come to him. And some clients he was lukewarm on, some clients he loved. And when we got really clear on who he best serves, it came from looking at competition. One of his competitors was just churning out a bunch of clients. And he's like, whoa, how come I can't do what he does? I need to get on his level. I need to be as productive as him. And so we delved into, well, why wasn't he being as productive as this other estate planner? It's like, well, some clients are very complex. They need a lot more time. I can't just turn it around in a day or two. And I go,
Yeah.
aha. So you're dealing with more complex you're dealing with more complex assets. You're dealing with entrepreneurs who have multiple entities and want to make sure that business maintains its legacy. This guy, he's just working with mom and pops who have a car, maybe a house. You're going after a totally different audience. You don't want the mom and pops. He was not stimulated. The thought of him just doing copy and paste trust and wills was not appealing to him, but he didn't know that until he looked at the competition. And I think a lot of my clients, they believe in the benefits of looking at competition, but they don't know how, or they get into an analysis paralysis mode, or they get into this compare and despair kind of cycle because they don't know what to do with the information. They need someone, me, an outside objective person, to reflect back to them. This is what you're great at. Stick to that. This is what they're doing. Don't do that. So for anyone that's starting a social enterprise, look at what's already out there and see how you can add value. A lot of people think competition is about just beating someone down as opposed to making each other better. That's the new world I want to live in. So Tom Chris, did you know there was another attempt at a longest interview going on?
No.
Yeah, I think in Nigeria, I don't know, but Gloria Shikoni, she's my friend. She's the one who told me about this amazing event going on. She told me there was another attempt at the longest interview.
Are you serious?
Yes, but that person already tapped out. And
Okay.
so I see you about to creep like, who is this?
Yeah.
So let me tie this up. The reason I bring that up is I had no doubt that you're going to make it this far. I had no doubt that you're going to surpass that other person because you weren't doing this just for you. I don't know what their reasons were, but I know it because you weren't doing it for you. You were doing it for something greater.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind.
Yes, but I mean, that is what drives people. That's what keeps people focused on their vision and on their service. And if I bring it back to competition, that's what we should be doing. We shouldn't be competing to destroy each other. We should be competing to keep pushing each other to level up. So what you did, you beat out the 56-hour longest interview. Now you're setting it with 96. You going for 100 now?
Yes.
But it's not just who's going to claim the title. It's, well, what cause can we bring more awareness to? How can we make this interview experience even greater? I mean, you're doing a great service for all the participants here, giving us a platform. You've created this beautiful production. You've made your team set to higher standards so that they could execute on this, right? So these amazing goals, we're competing to make ourselves better, not destroy. And I think that's why a lot of people shy away from competition.
So wise.
That's why I got all this white hair, Tom Cruise.
Snow White.
Yes. Well, that's a branding tip number one. I've actually had this since I was 18. I am
Oh, yeah?
almost 40. So yeah, half my life now I've had this, but I used to hide it. I used to dye it because I was
Oh,
so
no.
ashamed.
Why?
Right? See, other people will see why it looks so cool. And me, I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, it is so weird. Like everyone looks at it, everyone asks me about it. And so branding tip number one, what makes us unique and special is something we usually don't recognize or value right away
Hmm.
because it
It's
just comes so easy to us. Sometimes
yeah.
it's like, oh, it's so like you're great at interviewing. You're thinking, oh, everyone can interview. No, it is a skill. You have to
Wow.
see, you have to see people who are horrible at interviewing or people who are deathly afraid of even public speaking to appreciate, oh, wow, I'm actually doing something. Talking to people is actually valuable. That's why Tony Robbins and all these great mindset coaches get paid thousands and thousands of dollars to talk.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. So again, back to your advice for social entrepreneurs that are just starting is really to reflect on what comes easy to you or what is it that you are maybe embarrassed about or mildly or trying to hide because that's something very unique about you that other people would be able to relate to. Like they're looking for that permission to be authentic and open about themselves as well.
Wow. That's so helpful.
Yes.
That's so
Brand
helpful.
strategy. I am a professional hype woman. It is my job
Yes.
to point out what you do great because
I agree
you may
with
not
you.
yeah, because you may not recognize it.
Yeah.
There is this, I love this metaphor where it says, we are in a bottle. That's why we can't read the label.
Mm.
That's why we need someone else to read it for us sometimes.
Wow.
You
Wow.
like that? You can use that.
Yeah. Yeah, I sure would. Wow. So thankful to Gloria for making you see this event. I mean, you've brought a lot of value to it already.
Thank you. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
Yes. And I will say Gloria or Yomi Sola, I know her as Yomi
Yeah.
Sola.
Yeah.
She was actually one of the first people I met here in Las Vegas when I moved here.
Oh, yeah?
Because yes, because we're both product managers. I believe you're a product manager too by trade.
Uh, not,
So,
I'm in marketing.
oh, okay. I mean,
I
product
do
management
product, but
deals
not
with
so much.
marketing. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's overlap. Yes, but
Yeah.
she was one of the first people I met because of this similar career background we had. And the reason why I bring that up is because business is really all relationships. People might think, oh, it's about products. It's about creating services. It's about making money. I'm sorry to break it to you guys, but business does not guarantee money. I know that firsthand, but business will show you your relationship to money, what's keeping you from making it, or what's keeping you from keeping the money and not spending away. But yes, business is all relationships. So I'm grateful that I've been cultivating this relationship with Yomisola for all these years. And who knew that it would bring me to this opportunity right here.
It's a privilege on my side. And I thank you so very much.
Thank you. But yeah, relationships. I will say to build upon the whole branding side of things, the way I define brand strategy is this big term, right? That people like to throw out. But what is strategy really? For me, it's just being intentional. How do you intentionally communicate marketing strategy? How do you intentionally finance your business? Finance strategy. So with brand strategy, branding to me is all about relationships. Marketing, you can offer a different opinion, but I believe marketing is how we communicate that relationship. But branding is really about the identity and how we relate to people and ourselves. So brand strategy, intentional relationships. It's all relationships. That's why people stick to the safe relationships. Like, this is my family, these are my friends. And then people shy away from the more challenging relationships, like competitors. But that's really where we learn so much. Let me see if I can, and this actually, so I'm talking business, but remember how in the beginning I said business is really an extension of yourself? Your relationships in business most likely parallel your relationships in your personal life too. If you're in integrity, I don't know if you see this, Tom Chris, but if the way I'm dealing with you, you can damn be sure this is how I interact with Gloria too. I'm not trying to be two different people, my work front and then my personal front. That's not an integrity. That's very tiring, to be honest. I've done that life. I'm not about that anymore. Like, just take me as I am. And the reason why I bring that up is you will see how your personal relationships, especially from your childhood, are playing out in how you do business. So the reason why I focus on competition is because I've had plenty of experience with competition from a very young age. So I have two older brothers. And do you have brothers and sisters, Tom Chris?
Yes, I do.
Or is it a big family?
Oh yeah, pretty big. 8. We are 8 in number.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We're only three. We're only three in my family. But
Oh.
typical, I don't know if it's typical, I shouldn't say that, but we had very strong sibling rivalry growing up. And what added fuel to the fire was that my brothers, they're twins.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're older than me. So little me was watching my grown-up brothers fight over who was better, who was taller, who was faster, right? Because when you're a kid, these are the things you measure yourself against. You know, you don't know about the nuances of being nicer or creative, right? It's these very physical things that you can see. And I get why the rivalry was so gnarly. They were sharing the same birthday. They were sharing the same clothes, the same toys. They just wanted to stand out from each other. They wanted the attention of our parents who were so busy. They were immigrants, so they were always working and didn't have as much time or energy. So my brothers were competing to be who's better, who's better. And then I come along and they're like, oh, she's not a boy. She's different. So that's like, how do we compete with someone who's different? So as kids, it was like this, like, I'm going to be better. No, I'm going to be better. And that carries on. Like, honestly, this same sibling rivalry, I noticed in the workplace with my coworkers. We're all trying to get the attention of our boss. We're all trying to work for that one promotion. I was in a startup, so there wasn't much room to advance. So it's like, who's going to get that project? I am. No, I am. So it's like we're competing, but it wasn't the good competing to make the company better. We're competing because we were trying to stuff the other person down so we would get that job. And then what do you expect? Those same relationships, that same competitiveness, that rivalry, that comes out with business relationships. How are you going to treat this competitor that comes up on the block or that you didn't realize? Are you going to go out and seek and destroy? Or are you going to play a different game and find where you can be better or differentiate? So Am I blowing your mind, Tom Cruise?
You're completely blown away.
Yes.
Oh,
I can talk about this for hours, obviously.
I
But yes.
know. I know.
But
It
yeah.
seems like it, mm,
But yes. Yeah. Our relationships and the relationships, the way we conduct them now, if they haven't been healed or elevated, they're usually remnants of something we've experienced from our past, from our childhood. So that was a big learning for me, was that I can't continue to operate this way. And I truly believe that there is a better way. I've seen it. I've seen it. So that sibling rivalry between my brothers and myself, totally gone. We're like the best friends. I have so much faith and trust in them now. But that only happened very recently because our dad had a stroke. And what happened was we all came together to make sure we could take care of him, help our mom, communicate with the family. And what we found, so we had not been living with each other for the longest time. And we come together, we realized that we all had very different strengths. We complemented each other so well. We were a great team. I took care of helping my dad with his rehab. Another brother helped with communicating with doctors and medical staff. Another brother took care of communicating with family and helping my mom. We had everything covered. That was impossible for one person to do. And the fact that me and my brothers found our stride, we each found our lane. Wow, harmony, finally. It took 30 years. But I just think like if we had known about this when we were younger, we would have been lifting each other up instead of tearing each other down. How different our lives would be. But I don't want to dwell on the past. So I know that there is a better way to approach competition. And I know that there is a better future, a better possibility for when we do recognize our strengths and how they complement other people. Is that a tear? Was it that touching?
no. Ah, some
Yes,
sleep is catching up to, but I still got work to do. So don't
yes.
worry. I'll be fine. I'll be
You're
fine. I'll be
doing
fine.
great. You're doing great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's see. Where else would you like to go with this?
Um, I've received lots of value from you this evening. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have plenty of things I can talk about, but I will
Um,
contain my excitement and let you take the lead.
no worries. I I think later on, when we are done with Student Entrepreneurship Week and Guinness World Record, then we can have a podcast.
Love it.
Yeah, yeah. We'll
Yeah.
do a podcast and talk about branding and brand development and brand design. Yeah,
Yes.
brand
Competition.
strategy. Yeah, competition. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And healthcare, you look great. Of course, it takes careful attention to put all this together.
Yes.
So, yeah, let's win first.
Pardon?
Let's win Student Entrepreneurship Week Guinness World
Mm.
Record first.
Yes, exactly. You're so
Yeah,
close.
yeah, I am. I am.
You
I
are so
can.
close. So
Yes.
many people rooting for you. It's such a beautiful community.
Yes, yes. I have lots of people that believe I can do this. So I just want to make everyone proud.
You already have, by far,
Thank you. Thank you so
by
much.
far. You could have stopped 30 hours ago, but no, still going.
No, no. When I say I'm doing something, I never want to like I don't ever want it to be said that I never did it. Yeah. When I give my word, I like to try my best.
Is integrity a big value for you?
Oh yes, my word is my brand. My handshake is everything to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That is the core of a brand for me,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
really knowing what you value.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
that radiates. I mean, here's a fun fact. So blue is a big color you have in your branding.
Mm-hmm.
Blue is very highly associated with integrity and the emotion that integrity comes with.
Here's one more thing. If you go to About Us
Yes.
and then you go to our values,
Yep.
yeah, here's integrity. That's our value.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Exactly. It's yours and it's also the business's, the brand's value. It's the same.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And blue. So if you blue here in America, all the financial institutions have blue as their branding because they want to communicate we are solid, we are strong, we are trustworthy, we have integrity. So it's no surprise that you also have blue as your
Mm-hmm.
brand coloring. So
Yeah.
I just love that there's alignment. It's so cohesive because you have
Yeah.
that clarity. Yeah.
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 Thank
That's
you.
my brand. That's my other brand tip. Start with values.
Received with thanks. We will do a podcast. It's settled as long as you have the time.
I will make time.
Okay.
I will make time. These causes are very close to my heart and they also speak to my values. I would not have said yes to doing this with Yomisola if it was not aligned with me. Number one, it's one-on-one. It's a
Yeah.
conversation. I don't do
Yeah.
well in big things.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the perfect environment for me and it was going for a great cause. And I told you how it was this full circle moment with
Yeah.
me, working with M-Pesa or being inspired
Yeah.
by M-Pesa and then here.
Mhm.
So of course, I said yes.
Wonderful. I'm blessed.
Me too. Very much.
Mhm.
Very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So what more questions should I ask you?
Oh gosh, that's exactly what my clients say too. Excuse me. Um, let's see. So we talked about embracing healthy competition. It starts with first knowing yourself
Yeah.
because your business is an extension of who you are. We talked about then embracing competition. Ah, yes. So you have to integrate back into the whole. My philosophy is that we are all from the same diamond.
Mm.
We're all just different facets of the diamond looking out. So we each have a different perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree
Yeah.
with you on that.
Yeah. And when we butt heads or when we come across something that rubs us the wrong way, guess what? That's sharpening our edge. And with diamonds, the more cuts you make, the shinier it gets, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So we need to be part of the whole. We can't just operate on our own. Like for instance, um, I'm actually part of a Toastmasters group. Are you familiar with that? The whole public speaking organization?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is a safe space for me to practice public speaking and talking. But how do I really know if I've improved? How do I know if my speaking, my skills are at the highest level it can be? I don't know unless I go out there and compete, or unless I go out there and put myself out in the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's only so much of your business, of your brand that you can do in a vacuum, in a silo. You have to test it out in the real world.
Mm.
And the fastest way to results is to compete. That's why I think pitch competitions are so popular and so effective,
Mm.
especially for startups. Do
Mm.
people in your program enter pitch competitions, or do you guys hold pitch competitions?
Not this year. We did in 2021.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure there are a lot of great things that came from that.
Yeah. Yeah. In 2021, we did some. Maybe in the future we'll do another one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And having that focus, having that end goal, that milestone, like I'm going to participate in this competition, something happens in you. You take things more seriously. There's a like a lot of times time is our most precious resource, and we don't use that very well. But when we have some goal to focus on, all of a sudden we are focused. We're going to keep our eyes on the prize and work to make that competition or win that competition. So I see so much value in being able to compete, but of course, on healthy terms. There is this notion in Philippine culture. So I've experienced good and bad competition, obviously. And I did say it started with my childhood, but if you think about it, a family is a small subset of a bigger story, right? Family, you're part of a community, you're part of a society, you're part of a culture. And the Philippine culture, I'm of Philippine descent, the Philippine culture has struggled with our colonial past. And a lot of Filipinos believe that the colonial past is what created this crab mentality. Are you familiar with that expression?
No.
Ah, so imagine you have this pot of boiling water and you put a bunch of crabs in there, live crabs to cook. What do the crabs do when they're in the boiling water? They pull each other down in order to escape. They don't push each other up to say, oh, okay, let's all get out of here. Here, I'm gonna push you and then you're gonna help pull me out. No, they pull each other down. And that expression has been used in the Philippine to describe some aspects of the Philippine culture, is that we don't support each other, we pull each other down. And people believe that colonialism, the Spanish and the Americans having presence in the Philippines and asserting themselves as the authority, that's what ended up making us pit against each other, because we were trying to gain favor with the colonials as opposed to being with our community. And I see that. So that bigger context, that history, that exists on a societal level, and it's trickled down into my family. So the real reason why I care so much about competition is because I am working to undo this pattern, or what people call this generational curse. Because, I mean, more people are following suit, more people believe in community and uplifting each other. But of course, there are still remnants. There's still people who are just so used to the old ways of no, us against them, pull you down, pull me down. So they're just like how you have this greater cause for the interview which is to help with bringing awareness to the accelerator. That's my greater cause for doing this. What keeps me going through those hard days. Tom Chris, you with me? Tom Chris, maybe I will change this interview about dancing. Make Tom Chris dance. Dance competition. That's what we're going to do, Tom Chris. Ready for work. I love how you are representing all aspects.
Yeah. Ready for work.
Ready for work. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing the parallels in the Philippines and Africa and youths.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's a reason for everything. We'll find out the reason for you meeting me and I meeting you.
Yeah. Yeah. But I love the emphasis on this being a global community because it really is. We've been in a global economy for decades now. I don't know if there's a similar story from what you experienced, but the people I knew in the Philippines, complete lack of infrastructure. So difficult roads, internet access is very slow, very much behind on being ready to enter the workforce as well. It's such a interesting juxtaposition because here in the US, kids as early as 5 years old already are using laptops and connecting to the internet. And there are some kids in the Philippines who are 20 years old who are just learning to use Google Drive for the first time, or Gmail for that matter. So it's like, how do these 20-year-olds who have never had access to their own personal computer compete with kids in the US who've been at it since they were like walking, talking? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Some jumping jacks. Yes. We can get some music going, right? That's part of the interview.
No, but I have another person coming up soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
Don't
much.
worry. Don't worry. I'll be ready.
You are. So many people praying for you right now, sending you so much good vibes.
I know. I'll be ready.
Yeah. And your team's doing great too.
Yeah, yeah. They did a good job.
Amazing. Very, very beautiful professional production. Yeah. Worthy, very worthy of a Guinness World Record. So, yeah. What's next after this? How are you going to celebrate, Tom Cruise? That's what I want to know.
So, first of all, tomorrow at 1 p.m., we'll buy confetti and we will jump and jump and jump. Afterwards, then we would wait for Guinness World Record to confirm and send us our certificates. But of course, we'll have to upload the evidence.
Yes.
We'll upload the evidence and wait for them to send us our certificates. When they do send certificates, yeah, that's when we'll celebrate. We'll go for dinner. Yeah.
Who are you going to celebrate with?
The boys.
Yeah. the team
Yeah.
and your family. So,
My family's not here. My girlfriend is.
mhm,
So yeah, we'll go for dinner and then come back and start working.
exactly, because that's what this is all for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the celebration's very important.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yes. And your girlfriend who's who you've been away from for how many days straight now?
No, she is so understanding because I haven't given her any face at all. So yeah, but
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I think that is huge. I mean, again, if we're talking about brand and business, the people around you really have to be aligned and supportive of what you're doing, especially if you have this crazy vision that people can't see.
yeah, mhm,
Yeah, really important to have that supportive community.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And also a bit difficult to let go of the people who aren't so aligned anymore.
Mm,
Yeah. But, sometimes they'll come around.
yeah, I know. Um, well, yeah, my man is snoring so hard. He's so tired, I guess. Can you hear him snoring? He's so tired.
Yeah, I'm sure you all are. Is there like a little rotation schedule going?
Yeah. So the other guys, I'm sure they are outside the door. Um, but tonight we wouldn't be doing much. I'll just be doing my interview. Let me see if somebody has joined online. No, just only you. I'm sure they will be joining at the top of the hour because I
Yep, we're
have,
very close.
yeah, Maya, Maya, 3
Maya,
o'clock.
yes.
Mhm.
Maya, yes, you are so close.
Mm.
Is someone going to get you a coffee?
Tonight, no, I drank a lot, so I think I should stay away from coffee tonight. But
As long as you're
I
hydrated.
should, yeah, I'll I'll stay hydrated. I have water here.
Yes. Yes. Let's see. Um, do you follow basketball here in the US, the NBA?
Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
not all the time, but sometimes. You like basketball?
Okay. Pardon? What was that?
You like basketball?
Yes. Um, the
Which
reason
one?
I bring it up is because of LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron. I'm a Lakers fan too, so
Oh yeah. Lakers.
yeah. But just to wrap things up, because I want to make sure you qualify for the interview, but to relate it back to competition, LeBron has definitely elevated basketball. There is no
Yeah.
question that he has.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fact that he's been able to be in the NBA for 20 plus years, and the fact that now he's playing with his son.
No.
Yes, that is amazing. The level
It
that
changed the
he's been
game.
able to compete at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that to me is the competition I would like to see, or the normal type of competition. So people might see that he's very aggressive on the basketball court. But I mean, naturally, because the rules of the game is you have to win. But outside of the game, behind the scenes in some documentaries, you see he has such great sportsmanship. He is very kind and
Yeah.
friendly. with other players, especially of the opposing team. Because at the end of the day, he's just trying to become a better, higher version of himself. He's trying to take basketball to a new level we haven't seen before. So that is what I hope young entrepreneurs, especially social entrepreneurs, that you are helping to accelerate and grow, they take that away, is that competition doesn't have to rear its ugly head. It can be something that really changes the game. Yeah. And I think a lot of social entrepreneurs have that at heart. There's some change they want to see in the world. But you can't do that. You can't do that without a little competition. So I hope they embrace that in a healthy way.
The energy of competition.
Yes. And honestly, it's supposed to be fun. Business can be a game. I mean, yes, it gets hard, but if you enjoy what you're doing, you will last. You will endure. So it really has to be something they enjoy. And really, that's how I'm treating my businesses now. I get to pick my clients, which I'm very fortunate to do. And it's people who I want to play with. It's people who I know that we will get along and make great things together. I'm not out there just for a paycheck. Yeah. So if they can welcome competition with a sense of play, fun and play, then yes.
Thank you so very much. Let's welcome Maya.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My
Bless you.
pleasure. I look forward to connecting with you again, Tom Chris.
Yes, please.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Hi, Maya.
Hi, Tom Chris. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Wonderful. I'm glad to see that you're up and active.
I am. I am
Oh,
very, very active.
oh my goodness. I have to say, I am so incredibly impressed.
Thank
It's
you.
11 o'clock or close to 11 o'clock where I am right now, and I am already exhausted. So you are giving me you're giving me a lot of inspiration here.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm receiving lots of support, so I feel renewed.
Wonderful. Good to hear. So tell me, how has your journey been so far on this Guinness World Record attempt?
So 89 hours, 53 seconds. Um, I've actually broken the record. Now I need to set mine. So by tomorrow,
Amazing.
by tomorrow I should be getting to 96 hours.
Oh my goodness. You are representing for all of us. I am
Thank you.
so
Thank you.
proud of you.
Thank you so very much.
And
Thank you.
you still have more in the tank to keep going. My
Oh
goodness.
yeah. Oh yeah. I have lots of people that, giving me their well wishes and prayers and support. I feel so inspired.
Tell me, I know that you've had this as a goal for a while. How did this come about?
So in 2018, I was in church, and Pastor Chris, the
Mhm,
televangelist,
mhm.
he organized a man choir, 10,000 man choir to break a Guinness World Record for the biggest man choir. I was like, well, I can't sing, I don't have 10,000 man choir, but perhaps I could do interview, but at a point, I started doubting myself, so I left it. It wasn't until Hilda, the lady from Nigeria,
Mhm.
yeah, after she's done the cookathon, I was like, okay, so let's do this thing. And then I realized that Clara, she did her own. That was in March. So I applied in May, and that
Mhm.
was it, which brought me to this moment.
My goodness. But there's a bigger story for all of us. Many a times we have, you know, aspirations, goals, ambitions, but things can creep in and you're saying, oh, well, maybe, it's not meant for me. Maybe I shouldn't go for it. And you may doubt yourself, from time to time. But I think the lesson that you're sharing here with us is set your ambitions high. And when
Mhm.
the time is right, make the jump and go for it. And
Yes,
this is what you've done, already breaking a world record. That's so impressive.
yes, yes. Thank you. Um, yeah. Every year I try to see what I can do with my career. Last year we did the fashion project, and I thought we were going to do it this year, but I'm not sure what happened. Excuse me. And so, yeah, Guinness World Record becomes the single activity of the year that sets us in a new record.
Well, I have to say, having participated in the fashion initiative, I thought that it was so incredibly well put together. It really showcased your ability to bring together a group of just incredibly talented young African, creators, and put them through a program where they were able to up their game, build new skills, make great connections, and also hear from a wide variety of professionals from around the globe. Tom, Chris, I think this really speaks to your capacity to, move mountains. And to be honest, I'm not surprised that you're succeeding at moving another mountain this year. I really look forward to seeing what next year is going to bring.
Amen. Amen. And again, I can only do what I've done or what I do if and when I get these kinds of support. So thank you for continually being there for me. And I know you have lots of things to do. I know you have lots of engagement, but I thank you so much for always supporting when you can. It makes a difference for me.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolutely. So let me ask you, Tom, because I'm just so curious. What has been the highlights of this journey over the past couple of days?
Well, the first day was so tough.
Hmm.
The first day I almost quit because I got so tired and I was almost sick. Um, but I had people around me. I didn't want to make them panic.
Hmm.
So, but after the second day, I began to, get used to, I guess, the long hours. I haven't
Hmm.
actually had more than 30 minutes of sleep, but I guess, you know, I really I want it so bad. Uh, yeah, and I don't want to let anybody down.
Yes, indeed. But and you're doing the complete opposite by being an inspiration in this. Um, I mean, my goodness, it's incredible. One, to be awake and cogent without adequate sleep for as many hours as you have, but on top of that, to be very productive and having conversations and interviews with just a number of people is no easy feat at all. So have you been given breaks so you can, have a drink, have a meal, move around a bit, or has it been a very constrained schedule so far?
Oh yeah, so they give 5 minutes break after every hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish you can bulk up, So what I did was I do 3 hours and 4 hours in a row. Then I get 15 minutes of break or 20 minutes of break. Um, I think what I should have done is to extend it to maybe 6 sessions. When I do 6 hours, then I can get more break. But it's okay. Someone's done actually.
Yeah. So when is your last interview?
1 p.m. tomorrow.
1 p.m.
Today.
tomorrow.
1 p.m. today.
Oh my goodness. You're almost at the finish line.
Yes.
Oh, that is incredible. Right.
Mhm.
So tell me, once you've completed this session, what is the first thing you're going to do?
First, I'll pray because I prayed before I started. I said,
Mhm.
God, please help me to do this thing. Um, I'll pray and then I'll call my mom
Mhm.
and then I'll go to sleep.
I knew that
Yeah,
had to be amongst the top three things you'll be doing.
I'll go and sleep when I
Oh,
wake up. I can eat.
that would be a very well deserved sleep and rest.
Mm.
That is for sure. But always, remember to celebrate your achievements. And I think you've had a number of achievements over the past few years that are quite notable. I think you really do stand out as an exemplar African young man who is creating a future, contributing to a better future for so many in your generation as well. And, I hope that you also take the time to celebrate those wins, pat yourself on the back, congratulate yourself, because, I think it's in those moments when you reflect on your accomplishments that you really, can savor the joy of success.
That's all to celebrate. I would I'll take my team, for a dinner.
Mhm.
And afterwards, work continues.
Yes, indeed. And what's ahead for you and your team as you're wrapping up this year? You're in
Um,
Q4 already.
yeah, so ready for work is the bigger thing that we do now. So I would like to run a cohort before the end of the year.
Mhm.
All things possible. Um, Otherwise, early next year, then we must run a cohort.
Mhm. And do you find that, those that you're working with from one cohort to the next um, differ from one another, or do you find that it is a very similar persona that you are working with from one cohort to the next?
The students
Hmm.
are predominantly the same because it's either okay, so we've had somebody who has been in the industry for 10 years, although she did have a job, but after the pandemic, she lost her job.
Hmm.
Then we have recent grads, and we have some people that have been jobless for 3 to 4 years.
Hmm.
Yeah, things like that.
So it's a wide group that you're catering to.
Yeah. Some of them, they want to change a job, then they join our program.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So have you been able to build linkages with industry and with corporations to be able to also support them in launching their new careers?
Not as much as I want to.
Mhm.
Not as much as I want to.
But you've made headway.
Yeah, we are trying. We
Hmm.
are trying, but it hasn't been, you know, I guess I have a lot on my hands, so I haven't given it all the attention that I should. But yes, it's part of the work that I'll get to be doing going forward.
Yeah, it's not an easy feat. So, I mean, nobody anticipates that there will be um, huge success just from one year to the next. It's like each year you're building on last year's success and, demonstrating the value that you're offering. And through that, also interesting other stakeholders and corporations to join in this journey. Youth unemployment is really, considerable. So I think you're doing a great job of tackling that big challenge.
Thank you so much.
Yes. How's the energy level at the
Right
moment?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel slightly sleepy, but
Hmm.
um, when I drink water, I should be fine. Yeah,
Okay.
so by this time, 2 nights ago, oh my goodness, my eyes were shutting itself down.
Oh my God. I can
I was
only
like,
imagine.
it was like somebody put a glue on my eye. Like I couldn't even. It felt like I should. I couldn't. If I held them like this, I'm sure they would have still shut down.
Oh my goodness. Sleep was coming for you.
I was by all means.
Oh my goodness. But you're keeping those eyes open by all means necessary.
No, I had to. Had to. And my sister's baby was also helping. She was clapping, making all kinds of noise just so I don't sleep off.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You see, this is where it's so good to have family around, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I sent for them because I know I'll need maybe I'll be busy working and they will be cooking food for me. So I know
Mhm.
I'll need some help.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Family is a blessing.
Yes, very true.
So have you been incorporating some breathing exercises and some physical exercise just to keep yourself, awake
Yeah.
and active during this time?
Yes. Not a lot because I
Oh,
didn't want to excite myself, so much. But
oh,
yeah, I do practice breathing.
okay. Yeah, movement and breathing actually, it can reset your energy levels.
Right.
So yeah, it can give you like that second or that third whim. But I think in your case, you may need a 10th or a 15th whim
I
because you've been
know.
up for so long.
I know. I know. I know.
Oh my goodness. No, this is impressive. Okay, so can you give me a hint on what next year's challenge is going to be?
So
Can you give me a hint of what next year's challenge is going to be? Like what are you thinking of attempting next year?
next year, I'm thinking maybe I should do CV cleaning, the
Oh,
longest CV cleaning.
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So people come submit their CV,
Uh-huh.
and I give them review.
Mhm.
I don't know if somebody has attempted it, but
I'll search online and see.
Wow. You'll be offering a lot of people considerable value. Oh my goodness. Well, it's so good that you keep on challenging yourself from one year to the next, because I think growth only comes when you push your boundaries, right?
And then every year, I want to do something significant every year. So, two things I've set for myself. If we don't do the fashion program, then I'll do that one next year. Let's see.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's one lesson that I'm going to probably take from you. That I'm going to start setting challenges for myself, from one year to the next. I won't be attempting any Guinness World Records. That I'll leave in your court. But I'll certainly push the boundaries of what I've achieved and try to, do more, do better, from one year to the next.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
do you remember that time when you were in New York? I think you had your photo. Was it at the New York Times after you had published your book?
Yeah, yeah, but it was NASDAQ Entrepreneurship Center.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. See, I thought that was, just like a huge success. I wasn't anticipating you surpassing that in such a very short period of time.
Oh, actually, last year, if I didn't do the fashion program,
Hmm.
I would have done something else similar to this Guinness World Record. I just want every year to make one milestone, a major milestone every year.
Hmm.
Because I was thinking, it occurred to me one day that people really sometimes people don't do what they set out to do with their life.
Hmm.
And then one day you wake up and all you have is just yesterdays and yesterdays. So I decided every year I have to do something significant with my career.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That is so true. There's this old saying, I think it's like youth is or something about like something being wasted on youth, and it applies to time or just so many things that we take for granted. Well, I don't fall in the youth category anymore, but when I was younger, I certainly took time for granted. Didn't appreciate it as much as I do now. And you're so right that there's so much you can accomplish if you set your mind to it. And if you put a plan to make it happen, right? And if you keep that ambition, as you do, but it's easy to let one day roll to the next, and life just happens, and before you know it, as you're saying, yeah, all you have is yesterday. So I think that's a great reminder for all of us to take stock of what we have accomplished so far, but to also make the best of the days ahead. I mean, tomorrow isn't guaranteed, but if you do get it, it's a blessing, and take it in that way. Um, yeah, that is definitely my takeaway, Tom Chris. It's appreciating every day as a new opportunity to set a record, not a Guinness World Record, but to set a record for myself. As long as I'm improving from where I was yesterday, that is a job well done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you have a lot of wisdom for your age, and I think you serve as a great role model because of that.
Well, I learned from people like yourself. You are a consummate professional. So yeah, um, my wisdom comes from being around good people. So
Oh,
I just have to try my best.
what a blessing. So Tom Chris, how are you feeling right now?
I feel blessed. I feel grateful. I feel good. 6 hours. In 6 hours, I would have achieved my goal. Yeah,
It's a countdown from here. It's a countdown from here.
absolutely. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'll be fast asleep when you break that record.
And don't worry. Don't worry. By the time you wake up, we would have broken it and have something to celebrate with me. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how many people have you interviewed so far now?
altogether, I think over 90.
Over
Over
90.
90. Yeah, because I still have like 10 left.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of potentially building into your career a stint in television?
You know what? After this month, we'll be
Mhm.
filming lots of podcasts from here.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've wanted to do it, but I had a little challenge. My investor, he was supposed to remit the, oh, this thing is recording live. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Stop the video.
Is there something wrong with the equipment?
No. Let's pause it. Pause it for a second. Okay. Why is the audio? This audio. Is off.
Tom Chris, are you taking a nap? Oh, you're back now.
No, put it on. Put it on. Yeah. From next month, we'll be recording lots of videos from here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it will be a video podcast.
Excellent.
Mhm.
And what will the theme be?
Um, business and career growth.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. You'll reach um, a larger number of youth by doing that.
Yeah. Mm.
And see, I can see this being of value all across Africa. So I think, this platform that you are developing,
Mm.
I hope it's one that's going to be scalable so it can be deployed across the continent.
Yes, that's ready for it. So the content from here will
Mhm.
be growth hacking ready for it.
Excellent.
Mm.
Excellent. It's amazing how the podcast industry has just blossomed,
Yeah.
and it's really becoming, a go-to place for learning, development, news, thought leadership. So I'm sure you'll be able to leverage it for all of those aspects as well.
That's the thing.
I think you're on mute.
I'm on mute.
Or maybe the mic is not working as it was earlier.
You hear me?
I think the mic is far from you.
Oh, I see. Where was sitting before? Do you hear me
Oh.
now?
Okay. The mic was, you see, even the mic is tired. It's like, please, Tom, Chris. It's time for me to take a rest. I don't know what you're doing.
I know. I know. It has to wait till 1 p.m. today. And then I can go and rest and allow it to rest as well.
Yes, indeed. So, did you design your logo yourself?
Oh no, there's this graphic designer. So when we were having an event, I reached out to him and I asked him to design a logo, then we can feature his brand, as a supporter for the event. So
Mhm.
yeah, he agreed.
Excellent. Excellent. It's I haven't seen one like it. So he certainly did a great job of building a unique brand for you.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Are
So
you
what
still?
what time is it? It's 11:20, so even I am getting tired.
Don't worry, go to bed. Tomorrow I will show you the record.
Oh my goodness. So now I feel like I have to help you stay awake because this is such a monumental event that you've created and that you're working to accomplish.
Um, you see, this kind of support, that's what makes me want to do my very best. But you don't worry. Uh, go to bed tomorrow. You will see our record is met.
Are you going to be able to hang in there?
Yes, promise.
Okay. All right. On that note, Tom Chris, let me bid you farewell. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Likewise.
As I said before, may the force be with you. You
Thank
only
you.
have, less than 6 hours to go, and
Yes,
I'm sure you're going to crush it.
I will. I promise.
Okay, wonderful. Bye, Tom Chris. I'll check in tomorrow when I wake up.
Yes, please.
Okay, already. Bye.
Thank you so very much. Good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Remove this thing. For the call. Right now. I don't break. No. She just finishes. Where is the video? Where is the video? The video of the breaking.
But nothing to just fucking with them. Can't picture it. Correct. Yeah, that's not the worst scenario before. Oh, really? I was actually keen to get up before. I don't know. I thought you were for.
Tell me about mental health advocacy.
Put your mic. So.
Mm,
All right. Mental health advocacy is simply the education and information of mental health. So the mental health is the overall well-being, overall health of an individual. It informs how they talk, how they act, what they wear, how they see people, and how they interact with people.
Is that all?
No, there is more.
Hmm?
There is more. As a matter of fact, we are all here at this time because of the state of our mental health. If our mental health was so bad, like out of hands, we will not be able to sit here to be talking about what we are talking right now. Do you get it?
Mm-hmm. Go on.
So mental
Speak my
health,
voice.
mental health is deep. Actually, the World Health Organization says that it is the ability of an individual to cope with the stresses of life. It means that there are stresses. Life is full of stresses, but our ability to cope through it, our ability to learn well and work well and interact in our communities is our mental health. So that means that if we are not mentally healthy, we will not be able to work well, we will not be able to learn well, and we will not be able to interact with people in the community. The one reason why when somebody is mentally insane, they either become rowdy, they become uncontrollable, or they become unaware of their environment. That's because the whole state of their mental health is what drives them to do whatever they are doing. Do you get the picture?
Hmm?
Do you get the whole picture of mental health?
Mm-hmm.
So if I ask how you are doing right now, talking about your mental health, what would be your response? Thumbs up. How does it feel?
For
How does the mental health feel? Give me a thumbs up. So I'm expecting, yeah, something worth a thumbs up.
my mental health,
How does it feel right now?
pleasant.
Interesting. You're strong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The problem is that my eyes are closing.
yeah, I see that. Which is normal.
Yeah.
Mm, come on, let's go.
Yes.
So should I continue?
Hmm?
Should I continue?
From the beginning.
Okay. So the thing about mental health is that we think it's far away. At the sound of mental health, we are thinking that it's either at a psychiatric hospital or it's the madman on the streets or the mad woman on the streets. How often do we see mad women on the streets? It just occurred to me. When's the last time you saw a mad woman on the streets? It's been a while or never? A while. How about a man? That too a while. Interesting. So mental health is actually more than those ones that we see on the streets, or those ones that we see admitted at the hospitals. It's just like we have physical health. So you wake up one morning, you have headaches, you have backaches. You can wake up one morning and you are anxious about something. You wake up one morning and you just don't feel so good. And for some reason, you don't even know why you're not feeling so good. Some of us relate it to religion and superstition. So when you wake up in the morning and you're not feeling good, you feel somebody is doing something against you, or that something bad is about to happen. Have you ever had that feeling? Some Chris, have you ever had that feeling where you wake up in the morning, you feel something is just off? You've never? Has anybody shared that experience with you too? Tell me about it. Tell me about the experience that person shared with you. You're not telling me about it. How did you feel when the person shared it? Are you sure you didn't feel anything? Sure. Give me a thumbs up. I'm not seeing it well. Can I see it again? Okay. Can I see your face? No. I want to see your face. Why are you hiding your face?
Tired.
I know.
Exhausted.
I can relate.
Mm-mm.
I can relate. Yeah, I can relate.
Okay.
Maybe you should get up. Let's get up a while.
No.
You don't want to get up?
No.
How many hours have we done so far?
2.
91.
How many hours?
2.
Have you looked at it?
Hmm?
How many hours have we done so far?
97. 91.
Okay.
Jesus.
So great. Welcome back.
What happened?
You were just relaxing. I'm here.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Let's get some stretches and
Stretches.
yeah.
Stretches.
Yeah.
What is going to?
Who's doing what?
No.
You don't want to stretch?
Hmm?
You don't want to stretch?
I'm stretching already.
Or your eyes keep closing?
Water.
You need water.
Yeah.
I have water. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Yeah, last hour. Let's do this.
Okay. What am I typing actually? And who was talking about mental health?
It's me.
Okay, you.
Yeah.
What are you saying? Amanda. You, Amanda. Okay. So 10 now. So 10 to be interviewed. What are we talking about? The importance of mental health advocacy.
Exactly.
Okay, so what is mental health?
Mental health is the state of being, your ability to cope with life stresses, as I mentioned earlier. Your ability to learn well, work well, and interact with your community
Okay.
also well.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What again?
That means that it informs how you talk.
Okay.
It informs what you say.
Mm-hmm.
It informs how you relate to people.
Mm-hmm.
It informs how you approach the issues of life.
Okay.
So, for example, someone has an exam to take, the person turns in 15 minutes late,
Mm-hmm.
and they tell the person that you have to wait for 30 minutes
Mm-hmm.
before we allow you to enter the exam hall.
Mm-hmm.
And then the person goes to hang themselves. Yeah,
Has that happened before?
it's possible.
It's not possible.
People go for counseling because of that. Attempted suicide or turning in late.
Really?
Yes.
This didn't happen before.
That's because for counseling, yes. That's because they don't actually have the ability to handle it well.
Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah. Amanda.
Yeah. So it does happen.
Really?
Yes, it does happen.
Mm.
When I didn't do your introduction, like who you are, your name.
We started before that.
No, I mean off.
Oh, it was off already. It was off.
Remember, did you bring fun?
Fun.
Mm.
No.
Okay, something is
You feel
good.
cold.
Yes. Talk.
I didn't bring fun.
No, keep talking.
You want me to keep talking about mental health?
Mm-hmm. It's your turn for interview.
Well, the most important thing is that we need to get the education down there. That's why we are talking about the importance of mental health advocacy. People don't know the relevance of it, and so they need to know. People don't know what exactly it is, and so they have to know. But since it's a broad spectrum, just like our physical health. So I was making an example that you wake up one morning and you have a headache. You wake up one morning, you have backache. You don't just say that something bad is about to happen to me. That's why I have a headache. Or,
Nobody will say that.
come again?
Nobody will say that.
Good. But we wake up one morning and we are feeling anxious about something we don't know about. We wake up one morning and we just don't feel good in our body. And some of us think that it's spiritual or something bad is about to happen to them in their day. And they ignore it. So I asked you if somebody had shared a story like that with you before. You said no. Yes. Do you remember?
You can talk about the consequences of mental health.
Right. So as I was saying, the mental health thing is just as I am sitting here. Tom, can you see me? Can you see me?
Yeah.
Can you see me?
There.
Yeah. What am I wearing? I think you should get up and do some stretches. What do you think? When I came, I asked you how you are doing. And then you said you are fine.
Yes.
I asked you if I ask you about your mental health, how you are doing. You gave me a thumbs up. But I also explained that mental health reflects how you speak and how you approach issues. So now that your eyes want to close,
No,
your
awake.
mind literally wants to close too.
It's awake. Amanda,
Amamu.
Amamu.
Yeah.
Talk. I'm listening. Okay. What else?
I was saying that we should take some stretches. You said no.
You
want to do some breathing exercises? Are you sure? Very sure. Okay.
Cool.
So if we don't take care of our mental health, do you have any idea what can happen?
Mm.
If we don't take care of our
That is not my eye.
So you know mental health is not in your eye, but it has the ability of affecting your eye. You see, people who have mental health issues or disorders.
You don't know what is sleep.
Well, it does not come from your eye, but it can affect your sight. You know
This
that.
is sleep, not
This is
mental
sleep,
health.
yes.
Talk about sleep deprivation.
This is well, yes, speaking of sleep deprivation, if you're unable to have enough sleep,
You can't have
you know what can happen?
I don't know what happened.
Do you know what can happen? What we are seeing, what you are doing here can happen now. You can develop headaches, which is physical. Headache is physical because you're not sleeping.
I'm not feeling headache.
You're not feeling headache. That's fine. That's why I said you are strong.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, very strong.
explain the thing. I'll jump your turn. Oh.
So I have explained 3 times. You've not been able to grasp it. It
I
means
did.
that we are not safe.
I did.
What do you remember?
You were wearing yellow.
Oh, not what I said I'm wearing. What I said about mental health. Do you remember?
It's insignificant. If not, I would have remembered it.
Oh, okay. Do you remember the definition of mental health I gave?
Don't tell me.
Okay,
Can I juggle our memory?
I will start. Don't worry. When he's done with what he's doing, I'll refresh it.
Mental health is a person's emotional, psychological, and social well-being. That is mental health. I've been. Why are you touching me? Okay, I'll take it that you've been interviewed.
But when you didn't introduce yourself like introduction when you did that.
Okay. So when I gave he started with, I should go ahead and explain what mental health is. And I went ahead. I explained, gave revision, gave examples. Okay, I'm going to introduce myself, and then after that,
Okay.
I'll talk about why it's important. Tita, are you listening? Okay. So my name is Amanda Abenamamu, but I prefer to be called Abenamandi.
Okay.
Yes. I'm a student practitioner, PR student practitioner.
PR.
Yes.
When you're here for mental health.
Yes, because I'm also a mental health enthusiast.
Enthusiast.
Exactly.
What did you read when you're coming to tell me?
What did I read?
Where did you read it?
Where did I read the mental health enthusiast?
No. The information you're coming to tell me.
Where did I read it? Wow. I read it from papers, research papers. I read it from World Health Organization's websites.
I hope you know all that organization is not reliable anymore.
It's not reliable anymore. But at least there's been research that are reliable. For example,
Sure.
the Gallup's research on workplace mental health that says that Ghana is ranking 4th.
I hope you know. And
Stress.
here is classroom, not workplace.
I know, but we are talking about something that can affect our performance in the classroom and at the workplace.
Okay, you win, oh. Amanda.
Tom, Chris.
If this sleep away from my eye, you and I.
Yes, I'm seriously hoping it will get away so that the conversation will flow.
You and I will put leg in one trouser.
But the thing that we can do for the sleep to vanish, you don't want to do it.
I'm tired.
You don't want the sleep to vanish yourself. So I asked how many hours we have done.
91.
How many hours do we have left?
91.
We have 91 left.
Left?
How many hours do we have to go to end this thing?
9.
9.
Mm.
So you see how far you've come
Mm.
How we need to go.
and how far or how short.
You've been interviewed, your turn is gone.
No.
It says so.
Who are the interviews?
Says so. Wait to.
This will have
Yeah.
another
That
question.
one.
I need
Amanda,
to
I'm in break because your interview is 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I have 20 minutes break. I'm in break now. Stop talking.
Is he on break?
Mm-hmm.
It should have been on break.
It's 4 to
Forward.
it's 4 to 5. That's the
Okay. Hit the break.
Yeah.
The break is 45.
No. That's the session now.
But we need to get him active.
Active.
Yeah.
The one I'm active in here is what?
You're giving slumber vibes. You're giving the active is not active rain.
The active is not active.
Yeah.
Come and tell these flyers that I'm clicking that is not active. The flyers I'm clicking are responsive. You're not telling me they're not active.
The clients are okay.
Mm. Hey, I'm going to be interviewing a lady from Visa, and it's like
What time?
that should be 7 o'clock a.m.
Okay. It's not 5 yet.
In 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. So it means we are not done.
I don't know. What I need now is to replace one person. I'm going to interview twice.
Okay.
Did you bring 2 clothes?
I won't change clothes. I can do with the same one. I won't change.
The rule,
That is classic. It's classic.
the rule will not allow it.
I'll take a jacket from one of the guys. If I should have.
Okay.
So should I go ahead and take the jacket?
Mm.
So we switch, right?
Mm.
So that we switch.
Swish?
Mm-hmm. To the second person.
No, it's not like that. Hmm?
Yes, we are live.
Delete that then. You're alive. Delete it.
Are you deleting?
Yes. And
Stop live.
delete it if you're alive. Don't want to.